Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Roberta Robbins, and today I'm going to be doing a intuitive card reading for the month of July 2020. Now, I always say, lean into what feels good to you. You will know if this message is speaking for you. This is for the collective, so take what feels good, let go what doesn't. So this month, as we enter into the 7th month of 2020, the energy was really palpable as we entered into it. I'm a couple days into July now as I'm doing this recording, a couple days later than I was hoping, but such the ways of the world. I would definitely say July 1st, myself and many others, we really could feel the change of the energy. So for the 7th month of the year, we moved into an energetic month of a number 2. We are moving into that last half of 2020, and the energy is definitely going to change. It's going to speed up even more quickly than before. If you thought this year's gone quickly, it's just going to get more fast feeling. We will have time to review things in this month that we've already had started to work with at the start of 2020, especially from the end of January to the start of April. Certain themes on that we were going through. We're going to get a little revisit this month and even feeling a little bit into August. And we still have one more eclipse. We've been in the eclipse season, the summer eclipse season. And so we have one more eclipse to go, and that's this weekend coming up. So July 4th, 5th, depending on where you are, we will have the full moon in Capricorn lunar eclipse. That is the last of the 3 that we have had in the last month. So we have that coming up, but also in July, we have the 2nd new moon in Cancer. We just had new moon in Cancer just a couple of weeks ago. And with that came summer solstice, and it also came a solar eclipse. So that weekend was a really powerful weekend. It was the sandwich space of our eclipse season of the summer. But we are going to get a 2nd new moon that's in Cancer once again on July 20th. So we then also end the month with another turn of the wheel, the Celtic wheel, the seasonal wheel, the wheel of the year. We will be turning the wheel at the end of the month, the very end of the month, as we go from July 31st to August 1st through August 2nd. In there, we celebrate Lunasa. So once again, it's like, wow, didn't we just went into summer solstice. So here we are about to turn the wheel again. And so we'll be in the high season of summer, and also starting to feel the harvest of the land and the abundance in our life. So July, lots of good things. Astrologically, still we have right now, as I am recording this at the start of the month, we have Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, Neptune, and Mercury all in retrograde. Just a few days ago, last week, Venus had gone direct, which is great, though we're still in a bit of her shadow side of that to the end of this month. Later on this month, we'll have Chiron going into retrograde, and we also have had recently Mars move into Aries, and that is Mars's home sign. So energy of movement, just with Mars moving into Aries, a lot of energetic movement and forward action, yet we're going to have a little bit of bumpiness and things that will be happening in July. So July is really, you're going to have to, my advice is take note, guys, when you're feeling days that the energy feels totally out of whack. It's okay. Like, just make sure you're taking time, let yourself breathe through it. I do know that July 14th to the 21st, I believe it is, those days are going to be a little bit more about pulling, tossing, turning, internal stuff coming up. So if you have time to go for a holiday, I highly suggest it on July 14th to the 21st, but be extra gentle with you. So this forecast reading, intuitive reading for this month of July, I'm going to go with some feels. I'm just tapping into what Spirit wants. I don't have a set. Sometimes I come to these having a very set structure, and today I don't. And my sense is that I'm going to break it out to the first half of July, though, second half, and then we're going to go from there and see what Spirit wants for us to get support and guidance for this month. So let's get started. And thank you guys for coming to my channel. All your support, all those of you that support me and like and subscribe and share out my content. Thank you guys so much for that love and support. So let's get, for the month of July, just an overall theme for us, an energetic, supportive guidance for us for this month. I'm going to go with 3 cards for the theme, and we're just pulling the first one. As always, I always will put in the description box of this video, you will see all the cards I use, and I mark them in the order that I use them. All right, so card for us, the collective, for the month of July 2020, to guide us through this month successfully, gently, and lovingly. It is time to take action. And this is a new moon in Aries. So let's just put that one up there. If you guys followed my stuff from last month, in June I was saying it's time to be not rush, not put things into plan. We are getting now that Mars is in Aries. There is this movement, and it's movement of us being responsible into what needs to change and shift in our life, and taking some action towards that. Oh, this card right away wants to come out. Oh, 2 of them wants to come out. Okay, so we have Oracle, wait for important information, and Mother Earth, feel love and comforted. Oh, yes. So let's get one more, though apparently Spirit wanted to give us 2 for that one. Well, one more for us for the month of July. Oh, we don't need all those. July to guide us. Oh, I see that one wants to come out. Power. Oh, that is so perfect. Okay. So let's see what we got here. I gotta look and make sure you guys can see those on the screen. So we have, it's time to take action, the new moon in Aries, Oracle, wait for important information, Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted, and power. So this is, I always love when the readings, the cards are coming out, really supporting the energy of this month and the flow. And so there is time for us to take some action, to take responsibility of where we're going, what we truly want in this life, and that we're starting a whole new chapter, but a whole new story, actually, a whole new chance of a more soulfully aligned identity and way of being that we've really been calling for, and our soul is calling us forth. So there is some action, there's some energy moving and waking up. Now we're getting the Oracle, and I'm getting off right, like getting this right, that the message is saying, like, you got to tap into your own intuition. You got to listen to yourself. And I know in July there's going to be these moments that you're gonna it's going to be a lot more clearer at times, especially when Chiron goes in retrograde. You're going to be able to hear the louder, the more powerful, important, intuitive hits and guidance within yourself. So wait, listen, know that the information and what you need and guidance is there or is on its way. And to take time to be in solitude, stillness, and sacred practice, and come home into your heart, into your essence, into your sacredness. Pick up those sacred tools I'm hearing too, that you have, and start using them. Mother Earth, connect, be with nature. You got to still rest. Even though there's action time this month, there's also rest. We're going to have like ebbs and flows. Like the energy this month is going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. So trust in. If you have those days you're like, I got a lot of energy out, I feel movement, okay, do that. Other days you're like, I need to rest. Get outside, be nurtured by nature, breathe it in. We have this butterfly on here. I don't know if you guys see that. There's a butterfly on her arm, and there's a butterfly up there and up there. So there's actually quite a few butterflies on this. So we have like the transformation, and she's got, you know, the moon crescent on her forehead on the third eye. Her belly is pregnant and full of the earth itself, new beginnings, birthing a collective, the wholeness. So know that you're not alone. This collectively, we're all going through a lot right now. We're all shifting personally, but we're all shifting in a bigger way together too. And then we have power, and this is like almost like the sun itself, the essence is dripping and dropping down in this picture here and into the water. And there's this reminder of the power and the essence within ourselves. Allow it to start to flow. This is like drops of essence of sun it's showing here, and of power. Let your own essence and power. We're about to return more powerfully into ourselves and our own personal power. So there's our theme and our flow for the month of July. And let's go into the first half of July, the second half, and then whatever cards in that we need for this time. So, Spirit, what would you like me to use? I got all these cards pulled out that felt like they needed to be here with us. I'm just having a little look. Okay, I hear right. So they want me grabbing a card from this deck, an astrology card for the first half, and one for the second half. First half, second half. Okay. Let's put those there so you guys can see them. I'm sure you guys see those. Second half. And we're going to get a little bit of, let's see here, we'll use this card. So we have for the first half here, let's just start here. The first half of July, communication is key. New moon in Gemini, and we also have Elder. Move beyond your ancestral patterns. So, you know, communication key, very important. Communication with your inner world is what I'm hearing. You know, we have the new moon, the inner world of ourselves to stop and still and listen and hear. But because we also have Mercury right now, retrograde, right? We need to be cautious and wise of how we are communicating, with each other and with ourselves. So communication, though, is key. We have to be more mindful and clear at the first part of July and how we are communicating and the different ways that we are communicating. And because this, I mean, you know, right off, you know, this is in Gemini, we have the duality, the twins in there. I'm getting a couple messages about this. One, awareness of our own duality, the light and the shadow, and all that we are, the essence and of that what we get from our light and our shadow, and how to move and dance between that and communicate those two sides of ourselves. But I'm also getting for those that are tapping in and working with relationships right now, with soulmates, twin flames, sacred union, whether it's sacred union within just union within yourself or your divine masculine and feminine, or you're looking at this also with union within your counterpart. There is important key communication going on, and because I'm getting this right now, I'm getting the message about the 5D realm of communication because of this card coming up in the new moon in Gemini. So knowing that there's an extra communication that's going on with your counterpart, your divine masculine or your divine feminine, that there is 5D communication, spiritual communication right now, especially for this first part of July. And so this outer here, you know, the move beyond our ancestral patterns. It is time for us to move through patterns that are not serving us and that are not necessarily ours alone. And so collectively, patterns that need to be cleared away. We're going to have a little more focus on that for the month, the first part of the month. So I'm going to get 3 cards here, tarot, to go with this to get a little bit more of a movement and story to come in for this first part for us. July. What else do we have to go with this first half of July? Tower, the world, or sorry, the wheel, and King of Pentacles. Oh, that's amazing. So let me tell you why this is amazing. So we have a tarot moment. We are breaking down. There's things that have been crumbling down. We know it. We've been feeling it. There's things been like we are in that energetic whole year of 2020 of for foundations and clearing away. And I've been hearing from some of you like, freaking heck, Roberta, like everything is crumbled. There's like nothing, Roberta. And if you are to a point that things have crumbled, things are clear, the second part of this year is about the planting, getting super clear, like what are you putting into your garden? What are you putting into your life? Because you're moving towards the abundance, the fulfillment, the balance within your life here from this tarot moment. And there's butterfly and transformation. Like sometimes things have to burn, some things have to crumble. There is going to be a lot of shifting and changing that is happening. It has already been, guys, but there's more clarity of really big forward movement as we head into this last part of 2020. And then we're moving towards that King of Pentacles. And once again, if you're reading this here with also, you know, relationship wise, there is stuff crumbling, and there's a little, quite a bit of masculine energy running through this first part. So I'm just going to say, I feel like more on the divine masculine side, there's a bit more serious change and crumbling that's happening within his life. Things, belief systems, patterns, things are not working, are actually starting to crumble, and so he can transform and move into abundance and balance and into honor himself. And as we move into the King of Pentacles, so that the divine masculine can move into the King of Pentacles, but that we all, in general, moving into this King of Pentacles is like the confidence, the sureness, the groundedness, the abundance, financial support, and being looked after and knowing how to manage and navigate the material world, and so solid in yourself. So we have this, you know, journey that we're going through the first month in order to get, I feel like we're reaching for this solidness, this king of our lives, of the realm of sureness of our material life, but also in the balance with our spiritual life, and to be at home with ourselves. So let's go into the second week here. Get cards for the second week. The Queen of Wands, 2 of Cups, definitely getting some love theme stuff here, relationship stuff, guys. And what did I say? The Lovers. So once again, for those of you who are connecting in and really working with some relationship stuff right now, whether this is with your relationships you're in, or this is a twin flame relationship that you're tuning in for, but also just the relationship with your own divine balance within your sacred feminine and masculine. Definitely we're coming in, we're seeing that there's cards in here that are pulling us closer into that, with messages of the masculine rising up, things crumbling away, and also passion, union, sacred union, and the Lovers. So let's go through this whole week here. A time to give rather than to take. It's new moon in Virgo, and the High Priest in 10 and Great. So we're getting a little more focus, I feel like, towards we hit that mid part of July, and towards the end it's time to start you know, with the come to give rather than take. I feel like there's this gentleness, this maiden, loving maiden energy and innocence, and offering out our goodness, our essence, and our support and love in our lives to those that are around us is coming through with this one. And that we have, once again, this feminine, very feminine card here, especially with it being Virgo. But then we have the counterpart of this masculine, the solid, but young masculine, the high priest that has here. But this male here is coming, and he has a very youthful, wise essence about him, and forward intention and focus. So there's this balance of, once again, a very masculine, feminine energy towards the end of this month. And so we have to learn to balance that inner gentleness, this feminine essence of nurturing and loving, and to give out where we need to give out into our life, to be wise how we do that, but be wise and intend, knowing what you need to give out, being sure, being focused. And it's also time, it says here, to create. So removing that energy in July, right? There is a point where we're going to start to feel like I'm getting very clear about where I'm going, who I am, what this new book of life is going to be for me, and I'm moving forward on it. I'm taking the responsibility. But there's this balance that we have to have within ourselves. And then we come in through these cards to give us a little bit more message on these ones. And we have the Queen of Wands, right? She's the queen within her passions, her fire with the wands. And she's holding a little bit of spark of fire in her hands, and she's got her wand held high, and there's all these candles and light and fire around her. So there is this awakening, this power, this passion, this fire to move forward, and move forward with joy. There's so much joy in this card. And for those of you who can't see, she's got this black cat and laying in front of her, which is so funny because I've been using this deck for a while now, and I've never noticed that black cat. So, there's something about that intuition and the walking through the worlds to energy about that, the magic within us, the fire. So there's a lot of passion and energy that's coming out, rising as we go from the mid to the end of July. And we have our Two of Cups here, and that union, the divine union, the counterpart of ourselves, and the dance and the bonding and the union of that, the sacred union. But that it's usually, is that there's a relationship. It could be a relationships of any kind, but typically this one leans towards, when I see this is one of the, to me, sacred union, twin flame, soul union, with a divine counterpart, love, commitment, bond. And there's just such a beautiful energy that's coming together and rising up. And the cups are always about the emotions, right? So our emotions within us, being able to honor and to move those out and to express ourselves. And then we have the Lovers. And so usually, with the Lovers, we, of course, once again, romantic love, bond, relationships, but also in classic tarot, there's a decision sometimes that has to be made. That's also what in the Lovers, it comes up, a decision may have to be made, a choice. And once again, for those that are tuning in, for those, the direct relationship reading here, essence is coming through. There's a decision that's a really clear soul choice decision that's coming up by the end of this month that you will be making, or your divine counterpart will be stepping into, or that you both will make together. There's definitely going to be change of movement by the end of this month for those, for all of us, but especially if for those that have been kind of like, well, is there going to be movement and action? What's happening here? I'm not sure. Yes, there is, but also I'm hearing very clearly as I say, yes, there is. Know that you still have this trust in your higher knowing that these things may be still needing to be revealed, but trust and know those instincts, those messages and the feelings that you're getting about something, trust in them. It may still be a little unseen, but there is great movement that's happening out there. So here we have this. Let's see what else. What else do we need to know for this month? July 2020, Spirit, what else is there here for us? So I'm getting you want me to pull a couple cards here. Childhood, innocence. This is coming up definitely. I'm going to pull a few here. The fog, veil. Okay. And one more. Autumn. Okay. So what I'm really getting when I felt I need to pull these ones is especially with the relation between healing, inner healing that we need to be focusing on within ourselves, but especially with the aspects within our sacred union within ourselves, and that we need to be working with this if we want to go into sacred union beyond with somebody else. So childhood innocence, someone from your past might be coming forward, but also I'm getting with this one that there's a returning of this, rewinding. Part of this healing and journey that we're doing and this reflection with all these planets in retrograde, we are unwinding and returning to some things that may need to be healed from here, but also that we're returning to grab, to get a hold of, is what I'm saying, like to bring forth into yourself part of that innocence and that purity and your gifts that you came into this world. And with the veil, I feel like, lifting the veil. As we age, we have this veil that goes around us, right? We forget sometimes of our childhood innocence and the gifts and the things that we used to do and the things we knew. I'm hearing the things that we just knew. So it's about returning there to also reclaim, like almost a soul retrieval essence of ourselves. But the veil needs to be lifted so that we may see. And that there's this release, and I really feel like by autumn, so autumn equinox will be, in September around the 21st, 22nd, usually somewhere around in there, that we're going through a deeper journey. It'll be over the next few months, and this is a deeper process that we're going through, and that would really, I think things are going to be revealed. And so it's released. I think what I'm getting with this is this release. As we go through this journey to the fall equinox, it's the releasing of what we've picked up and held onto through this adulting that we've been doing. Releasing of wounds and hurts and pains and blocks and fogginess and everything. Release of things that have held that there in place. So there's light shining down through the color of these autumn trees at the top of this picture here. So the light and truth can come in and a restart, a fresh start of a restart for us. And for relationship wise, for those, like I said, if you're not quite seeing something, it's because we're still all doing some work right now. We still need to get through this summer before I think we really start to see things tangibly start to anchor in. We need to get to September before we get to that month of 4 energy, which is, our foundational month for 2020. So there's this journey. And so by the time we get to the fall, we're going to start to feel the essence and the work that's going on, kind of almost within, but behind the scenes that we can't quite see yet. And let's see here. To leave us off, in general guidance for this month of July for all of us collectively that's tuning in spirit for this reading. What overall ending message guidance do you have? I'm going to break this up. What divine message for the divine masculine do you have? Divine masculine counterpart and the divine masculine within us. Patience. Patience. This is divine masculine. Have patience. Things are moving. Do the work that needs to be done right now. There's a time. There's a clock that she's holding. That there's angelic higher support right now that's guiding and helping. So trust in divine timing is what I'm hearing. Knowing that Spirit's got you. Just keep walking your path, doing what you need to be doing, and moving forward. And for the divine masculine guidance to finish off our reading for today. Adjacent possibilities. So all these doors are open. There's all these other possibilities. If you're feeling trapped or that you don't have possibilities, that there isn't doors, you don't know what to go and what you want to do, look around, ask for support, because there is all these other possibilities. Doors are open. Where do you want to go? What is the next new chapter, the next new story for you? And take time into exploring what you need is what I'm hearing, exploring. And that there's possibilities, that there is so many possibilities. I'm also hearing if you're getting stuck, well, I don't know how that's going to work, or how can I do this, or that feels a little heavy. Breathe. There's so much possibilities. Lean into the possibility. Look at where you might be getting stuck with those old belief patterns that we talked about already that came up, and move them, transform them, release them, and move into new possibilities that you are. I'm hearing you are the dreamer for this. You are the dreamer, and you can create and go anywhere. So there you go, my dear friends. Thank you so much for dropping in. Feel free to share this with others that you think that it might be helpful. And let me know how you're doing. Let me know how July is going for you. Let me know how actually the first part of 2020 has been for you. So until next time, have a beautiful July.